Hello and welcome everybody to Tuesday Night TerrorVision episode number 5. Etep right here with you. Joined, that's Mrs. Co-host Trina's right here with me. Welcome, Trina.
Hey, how's it going? I'm psyched to be here. Looking forward to this review.
Oh, yes. For those of you just joining us, we are reviewing tonight a fantastic movie that I just got done watching not an hour ago, Late Night with the Devil. I couldn't be happier about this watching this movie. It was very fun. Yes, Papa Cotton, I consciously chose the most unmetal Manson song I could possibly find because it's got that emo type vibe like Hollywood Undead, Motionless in White that I so much enjoy. I know not a lot of people are surprised they find out that I do listen to that kind of shit, but yeah, I always have. And a couple of my ring entrances were Hollywood Undead and Motionless in White. There, I got my wrestling talking, Trina. Here it goes. Shit, my phone's vibrating already. You are so fast with those messages. Did you have one ready?
I didn't think that we would get through this review without some kind of wrestling talk.
There it is. I promise. That's it, folks. I won't do that again. And I know you're sitting there already. And Trina's like,
why are you the way that you are? I hate.
That's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into it. It's Late Night with the Devil time. And yeah, Late Night with the Devil, starring David Dastmalchian. Am I saying his name right? I hope I am.
It looks like you are. I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll go with that.
David Dastmalchian. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll shoot for that. That seems to work. Overall, I'd heard good things about it. I'd heard good things about this movie. And I was excited going into. I'm already talking with my hands. I love the aesthetic of the 70s and pretty much all of the 80s, like that visual aesthetic. I think cinematically, when it's done right, it can really elevate a movie. I said that as much about the throwback sequences in the new Halloween trilogy. Those were some of the only scenes that I enjoyed in that particular trilogy and that variation of the movie. Now, this entire movie is in that vein, and talk about a fucking home run. They knocked this out of the park.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
Yeah. It's good right from the start.
Mm-hmm.
I love the opening, covering the events of the 70s and
yes.
It's like a bunch of snippets of the news covering all the events of the 70s, like Nixon, Carter, and the gas shortage and all that kind of stuff. It was so well done.
Yeah, that's one thing they did hit was, they went into like the Vietnam War and all this other stuff, because right then we're at the tail end of that 77. I think it ended our involvement at like 75. It was 75 or 76. But yeah, we had all that. They showed the Manson. You saw Charlie Manson in the Charlie's Angels. It was Squeaky Fromme and the girls in the montage there, and they really did a good job with that opening. The narration was good. It was almost like an homage to like the Friday the 13th openings that were like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like just that throwback kind of. I dig that. It can look wonky when those things are done wrong, but this was done just so well. And I'm already singing this movie's praises. Let me welcome the chat here. We got Papa and Scrambles the Death Dealer and Chef Nation. What's going on? What's good?
Hey, guys.
Good to see you guys. Smack that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Following us on Twitter, the X, whatever you kids are calling it these days, crazy kids, and your Moby Grape. But anyway, Moby Grape, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Another thing that was funny with the very beginning of the movie was, did you notice all the, like, I think it might have been a parody, but it was a bunch of movie studios involved in the production, and then there were some that didn't look real.
And in the credits, I didn't.
Yeah, in the very beginning.
Oh, you're talking the title cards. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at that going like, this seems like a lot of production companies involved.
Yeah.
And I know, I was looking, I'm like, wait, yeah, now that you mention it, it was like, were those all real? Or was it part of the,
I think a couple of them, maybe 2 or 3 were fake. It was funny because I have noticed that with new stuff that there are a lot of production companies involved in stuff, and like it just keeps on going with this production studio and then this one and this one, and yeah, that's what they did in this movie, and yeah, it was, I got that, it was comical.
Mm-hmm. And they mixed, there was moments of humor in this, but it was very, and again, done so well, it never took you out of the tension of a scene.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another nod to how good this movie was. You never lost the tension once you hit that part of, but I don't want to jump ahead. So they go through Jack, is it Delroy? Was it Delroy?
Delroy, yep.
Jack Delroy. They go through his rise and how he started and his origins and the backstory, and they talk about him losing his wife. I mean, that shit was sad, but then they talk about the Bohemian Grove stuff, the Grove.
Yes.
Which I was like, this scratches me right where I itch as far as Bohemian Grove goes, because I heard about that shit in like 07, 08 from Alex Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really aware of it before then, but I didn't really pay attention to that kind of stuff either until like my mid to late 20s. And
yeah,
I just remember being like astounded at what it was. And then seeing how they used it here kind of plays into a little bit of, I would say, like, now I don't want to call it a conspiracy theory, because we know what those are. Those are just thinly veiled truths,
right.
Conspiracy theories. But the I will say the hysteria surrounding it,
yeah,
if that works for the context to the movie, it leans in heavy on that and the satanic part of it.
Yes, absolutely. Because we don't know exactly what happens. So, no. But we have, we have a good idea based on, we have an idea of what happens and stuff. And yeah, they definitely like visit the sites that we do, because you can tell that they were getting the same kind of information that we've gotten, because they placed it in the movie, and it was very well done the way they did that. And I like how they call it the Grove, and not like, don't specifically call it Bohemian Grove, but we all know that's what it is. It's just.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I really just like how that's done. It's like a wink and a nod,
Oh, absolutely. And they renamed what's it, Moloch?
Yes.
Is that the owl's name? Moloch? Because they gave him a different, I can't remember what his name was. I didn't get a chance. I wasn't taking notes because I didn't have time to pause it and do it like I did Shocker, because I was like, I have enough time to sit down and watch it before the show and still tuck Trey in. So they changed the name, and then I love, we start the show, and I don't think they didn't mention the girl at first and June coming on. It was just, you had the medium guy, which, okay, that shit with what was his, I can't remember the medium or whatever you call him.
Christo or something. Yeah.
Christo, yeah, something like that. Yeah, that was because at first when he's like missing the mark in the audience with them, you're kind of like, okay, so is this guy just a fucking a snake oil salesman basically? And then it gets down to, oh shit, he's getting it right with them, but you're like, okay, is this just dumb luck? And then we find out it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good because I tend to be a skeptic on stuff like that, and I like how it was like I can't remember his name, but he used to have audiences like that, and he was a medium. But I watched him a few times, and it looked like they had this, like they had like the same kind of way of like reading the audience and stuff. And I was just thinking, man, this is so well done because you can tell that the producers, the guys that did the movie, Carnes, I think they are, they definitely watched, they definitely did their research, because that seemed very accurate to those like when you would watch them on TV. It like that was, it looked like how that was done when you would see it on TV.
Yeah, the attention to detail in the production of the show, of the Night Owls.
Night Owls, yep.
Yeah, and that was that. The name of the show was cool. Man, they nailed the aesthetic, because I watched, a lot of late night talk shows with my mom growing up. I was a huge Letterman guy, until he went and lost his fucking mind, obviously. But I've watched David Letterman my whole life, very young and barely remember, but I've seen more reruns of like Johnny Carson, and Ed McMahon, stuff like that. So yeah, this really hit those beats as far as like the production. Gus was like your Ed McMahon type character.
Yes.
And the character acting, again, just damn.
Yeah, so well done.
Yeah, fucking nailed it. What up, Frankie? What up, Slasher? Slasher, hope you're feeling good, bro.
Hey, Slasher.
Grave Reviews, what's going on? Hello,
hey.
Welcome.
How's it going?
We had a great time over there talking about Dawn of the Dead last week. But so we see Christo lose literally. It's funny too, because like when you threw up the black goo in my head, I'm automatically like, oh, Jesus Christ, it's the Blumhouse black goo verse. Thankfully, I knew that Blumhouse was not involved in this. And the writers and directors were Cameron and Colin Cairns.
Cairns, yeah.
Cairns, probably Cairns. And David Dastmalchian, Laura Gordon, and Ian Bliss were the three main actors in this. But yeah, this I would have liked to have seen this in the theater if I had the time to, when it was in theaters. But
yeah, me too.
Man. So yeah, I love how you can see Jack's demeanor slowly change during the show. Like he's skeptical at first, and he's just kind of playing it off, and then things start to flip on this one.
Yep.
When the skeptic character comes on, which that guy, you talk about getting into character and really making people dislike him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Wait, what did the guy who played the magician also played the human possessed by Agent Smith in the Matrix Revolutions. I couldn't pick anybody in that movie outside of Trinity, Neo, and Morpheus out of an Agent Smith. Is that his name? Out of a lineup.
Yes.
I have feelings on this movie. Let me know in the chat, man. Did you like this one? Yeah, I loved how he was like the skeptic. Let me look his name up here. I gotta look homeboy's name up. I love how he was kind of he was poking at it and prodding at it. And Ian Bliss is Carmichael Haig. That was his name, Carmichael Haig.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just a prick. What a prick.
Yeah,
like, character was. Like, you wanted to fucking smack him like half the time, especially after they brought in June and Lily. And he started kind of giving them shit. Well, you get all the backstage stuff too in between the segments. So I don't want to poo-poo that, because it goes back to, I think it was like the beginning of the show. They were having issues on the monitors upstairs, and the stage, was it the producer was the black guy? I think he was like the main producer or direct. Was he the producer?
Yeah.
He was like, you could hear him in the he was talking to the guy with his mic. He's like, there's no issue down here in the monitors. Like, they kept going back to that all night, and then you would get like those little flashes.
Yeah.
Again, and they did a really good job, even switching the cameras exactly like a talk show would, going from camera one to your heart. It was, that the attention to detail in this, really, really helped sell it as that found footage, but not found footage, I guess, as it were.
It's kind of like in a class kind of in its own, because it's not found footage like you expect, like
it's not Hell House.
It's not like Hell House, and it's not just a straight movie, like just regular, just moving along movie. It's just a whole new way of going about it, and I love it. It's so different. We need more of that.
Yeah, that's one thing that, it's like, if you want horror movies, successful, it's like they all copy from each other. I mean, Friday the 13th is a ripoff of Halloween, and I love Friday the 13th, but it is. It's like copying someone's homework. Just change it enough, and add, put your own flair on it. And this, it's like, you want to see this kind of thing, inspire this kind of hybrid found footage genre.
Yeah.
If there's not a technical name for it. But the what was I guess the main producer would be the guy with the sunglasses on that looked like a older Danny Masterson.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too.
It was. I'm like, Danny Masterson? I thought he was in prison.
And he was a dirtbag too.
Oh yeah, he was definitely a dirtbag, because all he was obviously concerned with was the ratings of the show, and it was very, very. This cast the television industry in the light that it needs to be cast in.
Yeah.
We could say that. Yeah, Zombie Box. I'm gonna wait. What is his name? James Randi. I'm gonna write that down so I can check him out, because he exposes charlatan magicians. I like that. But so we get into what we can go to when, because what else happened when Haig was on? Because they kind of went, didn't they had their back and forth about Christou on the air.
Yeah, he was mostly like debunking. Well, he was attempting to debunk like everything that Christou was doing. Like he was like, it's just it's like deduction and basically what he was describing is cold reading, and then like how many times that Christou got the name wrong until he finally got it right, and he's like and then but people are so gullible that, and they want to believe that they'll latch on to the one time that he actually got it right, and that's what they'll remember. And then he shows like the audience some of his like tricks, like hiding like the cigar and the lighter and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool. And just basically trying to explain like it, like this guy is a fraud, and people, you're being taken advantage of by people like this and whatnot. And yeah, that's basically like what it seems like that was his purpose, to be on the stage.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't beforehand. We didn't get anything about. Well, you could kind of pick up during their interaction with Jack and June that there was something there with them.
Yeah.
And then we get that confirmed. And the actress that played Lily did a spectacular job. That young lady did extremely well in her role.
Very good.
It's difficult for, and she's probably, I don't know how old the actress is, but younger actors can be absolute cringe. Like absolute cringe. You know what I mean? Like they can take an otherwise good movie and just make their scenes just insufferable.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get that here. We got a solid performance out of the actress playing Lily.
Oh yeah. I don't think there was any bad performance in this movie at all.
No, there really wasn't. We got a poll in the chat right now. Let us know if you enjoyed Late Night with the Devil or not, and then we'll do another one in a little bit. So we get
reminds us of something. Yes, that's right. He offered, was it $1 million? Was it $1 million? I can't remember the exact amount, but yeah, he offered money to psychics if they could prove, that they demonstrate true ability. Exactly. Thank you for reminding us about that, Frankie.
Yeah. Zombie Box is giving this one an 8.5.
We've already got a rating. All right.
Okay. All right. We'll give you ours at the end of the review. So we get Lily on stage, and Grave Reviews. She was very over the top with her movements, but it worked. It worked so well, especially in the restraints, and the possession scene. I don't know what the budget was for this, but the effects with the face change and the look and the aesthetic of it was fucking great.
Yeah.
Very Linda Blair-esque, I will say.
Yeah, it was.
It was. I think it was a nod to The Exorcist. Possibly, I don't know.
I do too.
But I would take a guess, just judging by her performance was. I mean, there was some Linda Blair in there. I would say honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And the levitating, and I love when we start to see the electricity. We start to get the electricity going, right? Because I was like, we just watched Shocker in my head. I'm like, oh fuck, she's gonna possess people through electricity, and I'm hearing in my head, Shocker. Pinker, if she gets up with a limp. So yeah, they do. We go through like the whole possession scene, and I love June is like she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah,
she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, she goes to what is his name in the show? Jack. Yeah, she goes to Jack when because they keep going on air and off air, like a regular late night show would do. Like you'd have breaks in between segments. Mm-hmm. So in one of the off air segments, she's like, I don't think she's ready for this and stuff. And so she's having trepidation over all of this. But of course, we know Jack wants the ratings.
Yep. Yeah. That's a good point.
I agree with that, Grave Reviews.
And I'm going to put that comment back up there. And you got a lot of little snippets of her saying things before she was possessed that kind of, with the value of hindsight looking back now, that Mr. Wriggles was there the entire, you know what I mean? Like he was she was saying things, and you would see like the pitch and tone of her voice. She would change it, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, wait, what? But they go right on so quick that you're left thinking about it, but you don't want to miss anything. And yeah, just a solid performance. So so like she breaks the glasses and everything that with the noise, with what was that thing? What was the thing called?
Oh, the name of that instrument. Oh man.
Well, then Haig goes over there and unplugs the thing. He's like, it was back feeding. And Jack's like, like, come on. Like, really? That was the whole thing. It's like, no.
Yeah. And that's another reason why people hate him is he keeps on like debunking everything. But he's wrong. And remember, like right after that, Lily goes, well, he said something about how, it's just a feedback loop and stuff like that. And Lily said, but he's wrong though. And then she's like, can we let Mr. Wriggles out? She asks Dr. June.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was, wow. Yeah. That was wild.
Oh, we'll get to the worm scene. You know what that reminded me of? And I swear to God, if it's not a nod to the original Creep Show with the cockroaches, then I'll be damned. Do you remember that in the original Creep Show with the Howard Hughes type character, the shut-in germaphobe?
Yep.
Yeah. That right there was But so we have all, the crazy shit happening. And then, I love how she levitates the fucking chair, levitates the chair off the ground. And did she do like the electricity thing with, where you could again, Horace Pinker-esque with like the TV aura around her? You remember that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I was like, again, Pinker. Damn it, Pinker. But no, that was, again, the cinematography and the effects in this look great. But that dagger gets left there.
Yeah.
And I knew as soon as they're like, Jack, and he's got the dagger in his hand, I was like, fuck, somebody's getting shanked with this thing. Like, I kind of was thinking the girl was going to fucking kill Jack. Like, that's what I was. Mm-hmm. But then the more I watch, I'm like, well, it wouldn't make sense for as much as they're behind Jack, they're not going to kill. You know what I mean? If he's going to suffer, they're going to make him suffer. He's not just going to get a quick and easy death. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. So after the whole thing with her levitating the chair, Haig is going to, that was excellent production. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is what you think this is, God. And when he gets the chairs back and here we go into the worm scene now, because he hypnotized poor Gus. Poor fucking guy. And the one producer guy, the scumbag dude, like, what does he call him? He calls him a fucking Bible thumping Mick or something like that, didn't he? It was it was so, I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, whoa, pump the brakes, man. Like, the dude's like expressing legitimate concerns, and you're like, fuck you, like, that was the dagger Omen inspired, or was that Evil Dead dagger that wound up in that shitty Friday the 13th movie? We'll talk about Friday the 13th in a little bit. No, that's so we get the worm scene, and Gus is stripping. It's hot in here, and then you got something, and you could see him swelling up. Did you notice that? Like, during the scene, I was like, oh God. As soon as he said the worms, I was like, oh, he's afraid of worms. There's going to be, And he pulls them out of his neck and then rips his stomach. Oh, Oh, and okay.
at the same time that's happening, Lily is laughing on stage, and she's like, "Why is he acting so silly?"
Mm-hmm.
She was weird.
I'm thinking that was because Mr. Wriggles was in full control and just kayfabing the whole thing and not showing his hand, and he didn't understand. Like, he understood, but he's just like, are you playing? Is it a joke? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's a demon, so I don't know if it would quite understand the hypnosis thing. Maybe I don't know. But,
I don't know about that.
Or maybe Lily couldn't be hypnotized because the possession of the demon.
That could be, actually.
I was kind of, because I was trying to figure that out. I'm like, okay, is it the demon laughing, or is it Lily? And just kind of using her voice to not, like I said, I wasn't quite sure on that. I don't know. Am I overthinking it?
Maybe a little, but that's okay.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that it was most likely, you're right. I think it's probably the demon that makes it so she can't be hypnotized.
Yeah. So she's immune to that. Now when they all snap out of it, I love Gus is up on the chair. And I feel so bad for what happened to poor Gus. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. And Grave Review said he liked the movie until the third act, and we're into the third act. So go ahead. I'll let you go ahead and get into the next part.
Well, okay. So what do you want to start with?
Wherever you want to take it from here.
So they do take another break, and yeah, Carmichael is still on the whole, like, not believing any of it still, and or are we already at the second? Oh, well, that's right.
If we missed anything, go ahead. We can kind of backtrack if we need to on anything. If there was anything of it, like, important that we wanted to cover, that I missed, like I said, because I didn't get a chance to take notes. So
okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Well, we do see, like, when they take a break, that June tries to say that, like, she's not ready and stuff, and even Gus is trying to kind of talk him out of letting this happen. He's like, you're being reckless and stuff, and during the first time that the doctor brings Mr. Wriggles out, she says some weird stuff, like she talks about the tall trees and stuff, and in reference to the grove and stuff, and she's like, how could you let it happen, Jack? And just saying weird things like she knows Jack, and so we have, like, we kind of know that his, like, wife who passed away is involved in this, because when she first, when Christoph was first doing his reading stuff, and he was asking about a name, I think Minnie, I think it was.
Yes.
Jack says, well, one thing I didn't say was, I think Minnie is my late wife, Madeline. And he says, like, that was a nickname for her and stuff. And so when they let Mr. Wriggles out or whatever, and she starts talking about, how could you let that happen, Jack, and talking about the tall trees, we kind of start to piece together, like, did Jack do something to make Madeline die? Because we know from the beginning that Madeline dies of lung cancer.
And she never smoked.
Right, and she never smoked, which is like, yeah, odds of that are astronomical. Yeah, and Grave Review says, we've met before, Jack. Yeah, so yeah, we start to get like pieces of the story filled in while her possession is kind of like on display. And while they're off air, Jack and that producer guy who looks like Danny Masterson is talking about ratings, because of course that's all he talks about. And he ends up saying that that Christou died on the way to the hospital. And or was it? No, I'm sorry. It was Gus that told him that that Christou died. And that's when he was trying to convince Jack to like not go any further. He's like, you don't know what you're messing with. And Jack's like, oh, we'll be careful, we'll be fine, and everything like that. But so Jack isn't listening, and then so then Lily asks to let, because Carmichael is still trying to like recreate everything, like showing that it's just stagecraft. And so Lily's like, well, let's show him he's wrong. And then he's like, show him the tapes. And then that's when we see like we were all hypnotized, even us as the viewers of the movie were hypnotized. And then we see like we see Mr. Wriggles comes out.
Yep.
And then on the tape it also shows Madeline behind Jack holding him, and she's like a spirit, she's a ghost. And and then it gets freaky with the electricity, and she's like electrifying everything in the studio, and studio starts going dark and crazy, and she's basically just electricity at this point. Like her face even splits, and it's wild. She's she's totally like electricity, and then June tries to get her. She's like, well, Gus tries to exorcise by like saying the Spirit of Christ compels you. She does away with Gus. And then June says Lily to me, and then she does away with June.
That I did not see that death coming.
I know.
Like, I was like, Gus, well, let's not poo-poo Gus's death. She snapped his head around and he fell through the fucking coffee table.
Yeah.
Like, not only did he get his head spun around, he took a table bump too. And then lifts June up by that necklace, like right by the neck, and then slits her throat, like in midair. Like when her neck was all like open and shit. That was, they had some pretty gruesome death scenes in this. It gets
kind of brutal at that point.
As far as the type of movie, you really don't expect like that kind of like, I don't know. I liked it. I was like, damn, because it was like, it's gonna go for it then. Yeah,
because it wasn't like it fit in the movie. It fit with what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it wasn't like we'll just throw in this gore scene for no reason. It totally fit the movie. Mm-hmm. And then Carmichael tries doing something, because evidently he turns into a believer at the last second, and he just melts away. She melts him away.
Then fucking lights his ass on fire.
Yep, and he just melts. He just melts.
Yeah, just burn him like a Tibetan monk. I mean, just
crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then after all that, like we just see like this weird face in the TV static. And so we know that like whatever it is, it's in the airwaves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I got Shocker vibes from it.
Yep.
So I wasn't very sure how to feel about that particular part, because demon possession in TV.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You know, it's like it worked for Wes Craven with Shocker.
Yeah.
Right? But this is not Shocker. And we haven't hit the part where they went back through all Jack's stuff yet.
No,
Okay.
That's next.
All right. But yeah, the demon through the TV thing, I'm just like, I was kind of the same way. I'm like, did we really need that?
I know. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that part.
It's like you had everything else that was working. Everything else was smooth sailing through calm seas.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate it, but at the same time, it's just like it might not have been the wisest choice.
Yeah. I agree.
For the style and the way the story's moving, that's kind of jumping the shark a little bit.
I agree. It kind of felt like an MTV moment.
Yep. Very, very.
Subtold
They told that.
Yeah. So after we see the face in the TV, then we just see like station difficulties and the little like the logo thing, and then next thing, and then like Jack and then we see like Jack walking off the stage, and it's like it's only him left.
Yep.
So he's walking off the stage, and then all of a sudden we're back, and Gus is announcing Jack like he's back on air, like just another show. And Jack is like, he's like, how did I get here? And Gus is like, well, you got here how you always do. And then he explains how he drives, the drive he takes. And this is all weird. And it just kind of takes us through a flashback of all of his past episodes, but he's also, it's not just a flashback, like he's also conscious in them and interacting with them in these flashbacks as well. Like, in a past episode where there was like a caveman skit, he wasn't doing his lines right, and his the person on stage with him is like, well, that's not how your lines go. So it was kind of like odd, like, yeah, something weird going on. And then we see station difficulties flash again, and it says and Jack says, turn off your television. And then it shows Jack at the UBC TV signing, where he did that big signing deal, and I think that's where everything began. Like that's where like in order to get that huge contract, he had to basically sacrifice something. Yep. And we just hear like people talking about ratings, and we're at the Grove, and he drinks from this cup, and then we see Madeline like on her deathbed, and then that's when we know for sure that she was the sacrifice. She was a sacrifice for his fame, and it was just kind of wow. And she said, "Your soul belongs to them." It always did before, and it still does.
Yep.
And she's like, you can put me out of my misery, and just don't let me be here in pain. And so he takes that dagger and stabs her. But then I'll get this flash, like we get it kind of like the scene changes, and we see that it's actually Lily that he stabs, and it's on set, like she's the last one to die, and like It was so wild. Yeah, Demon Realm, exactly. Zombie Box. It was wild, and we hear like Dreamer here awake, Dreamer here awake, and then it says, "So it is done." End transmission. That's on the TV, and that's how the movie ends. And what an ending!
Yeah,
that really is an ending.
Did you talk about the part where he got the cup? Because he got the cup from the UBC guy, and then they're like, "Drink up, Jack," and he was in front of the owl.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I didn't describe I said he was at the. He was at the Grove, and
that was crazy though, because they did the whole thing. Because this guy right here behind me, the skeleton guy, he was there. Remember? And he was in the show the whole time in the audience. And at one point, Jack was trying to figure out who it was.
Yeah. He was asking him about his costume and stuff, and making a joke about it. Yeah, it's wild. It was wild. Mm-hmm. The movie was great. It really was. Aside from the whole demon in the TV thing, I still love the movie.
Yeah, the head splitting, I thought that was pretty fucking wicked.
That was so crazy.
I liked it. I did. I enjoyed this. I own it, so it's like I'll probably watch it again, honestly, because I'll pick up stuff that I missed, and be able to actually just watch it through and not worry about time. But this was good. This was really good. Like I said, Dastmalchian, the way he played it was perfect.
Yeah.
He went from lighthearted to confident to nervous to complete and utter just chaos, paranoia, in the full range of emotion, sadness, regret. We got it all.
Yep.
We really did. We got to see him being manipulative. It was a hell of a swing for him to take this role and knock it out of the park the way he did. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very well done. All the acting in this movie is very well done. Mm-hmm. It's all believable. It's great. Great. The actors are awesome.
Yeah, it was, like I said, this was a fun watch. It was enjoyable. I'll watch it again. Mm-hmm. All right, so we can score it now. What on a 1 to 10, what would you or however you want to score it? However,
1 to 10 is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say 7.5.
7.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 7.5 out of 10 for Trina. I was initially, I was around the 8 mark, kind of talking it out and sitting back and, having one. I think a 7.5 is a fair, is an accurate and fair appraisal of the movie. The TV demon thing doesn't fit. That's basically my main gripe with the movie. Is that right there? Outside of that, everything else was done extremely well. It worked. The story was on point. The acting was good. The set was great, because it was pretty much set in one area, minus the backstage vignettes and stuff. But yeah, this was a great fucking movie. It really was. Outside, like I said, one little thing. But yeah, it doesn't ruin the movie for me. Not at all.
No, not at all.
No, this was good. So that's we officially 7.5, and we agree on this one. Mm-hmm. Unlike what's the best Friday the 13th movie, we actually agree.
No, okay, no, we're not doing that right now.
Not right now.
Great reviews. Also, let me see. He also gives it a 7.5. J-Man gives it 8. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much, around the same score.
All right. Let's see. What did J-Man say? I'm a bit of a nerd for this topic. I love James Randi and Uri Geller, etc. I've watched all those $1 Million Challenges. Oh, that's cool. Like I said, I've got it written down, so I'll have to check a few of them out. Because I used to like America's Got Talent and the clairvoyants on there. If you remember, if anybody remembers the clairvoyant couple on there, it was Amelie and I can't remember the guy's name, but they went to the finals. They didn't win, but I thought, I knew there's got to be a hook to something they're doing. And I watched somebody debunk it, and I think she has like a sensor in her shoe or a buzzer that he can like tap his foot inside or tap his toe inside his shoe and like basically Morse code signal her things.
Oh, wow.
But that wouldn't work with the water one. So that's where I was kind of like, because they did one where she was in a tank, like, and she had to write a number down, a credit card number on the inside of the tank backwards. That one, I wasn't so sure, how they could pull that off. But, what's this? I would have went higher if not for the head splitting electric demon. I thought the head splitting was cool. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if it didn't play into the movie that well, it was still a cool effect. If nothing else. Wait, give me a 7.5, and then go down to a 5. Jesus, that's a big swing, Colbat. Maybe I don't feel so good tomorrow night at 8:30 when I'm supposed to be on your UFO show. Maybe you go out and get you some Pepperidge Farm Milano wafers, and Pepperidge Farm will think about coming on your show. I'm just kidding, Colbat.
Yeah, I think without the electric stuff, this would have been, I would have rated it higher, because I don't think the movie needed that.
No, like you had everything with the demonic possession and the way the story played out for Jack and his like trading everything for fame. This is how I know I'm safe, because I'm still here. I'm not famous, guys. I've tried to sell my soul, and the devil was like, well, you got to have one to sell first. I'm like, he's like, and I can't kill you because you're already dead inside. So,
Yeah, I guess the moral of the story is like, don't sell your soul for fame. But I don't think they needed an electric demon for that.
No. There was no need for it. I'll put Ghost Watch. Okay. Yeah, J-Man is the one who hooked me up with this one.
Oh, nice.
Ghost Watch. It's the real version of this from UK. People thought it was real, like Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. Holy shit. We should watch this one, Trina.
Yeah.
I'll get it. Yeah. I'll get it to you so you can watch it. And we'll talk about this one too. Okay. J-Man's on next week, and we're gonna do our first. It's not our first with 2 guests, because we had Alan Chris from Grave Reviews on, but 2 guests not from the same channel. Next week we'll have J-Man and Tyler Wooten's coming back next week, and that's kind of nice because we're all big Friday the 13th fans, which I wish. Oh yeah, we're doing the burning for J-Man's episode. We're doing the burning. We're doing the burning next week for J-Man and Tyler, which I've never seen it, so I'm going in fresh to this one, and I'm excited. I'll have notes for that one. I'll have, like I did with Shocker, I'll have a play-by-play for that one. I'm excited. What up, Brutal? Hey, buddy.
Hey, Brutal.
Welcome. We have some Friday the 13th news. Speaking of Friday the 13th, unfortunately, we have some Friday the 13th news that I'm not too happy to present, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard. But Peacock's Friday the 13th prequel series gets a grim update, and it says the latest word on Crystal Lake: the series isn't looking good. and apparently A24 has backed out of the series.
Yeah.
Which this bothers me because right here, that punk ass Chucky show can get 3 seasons, but we can't get any new Friday the 13th. And the goddamn lawsuit is settled. I did so many videos on this series. Anytime news would drop, I would do a video on it. A lot of them got a lot of views. There was a lot of people looking forward to this show. Adrian King was coming back.
Yeah.
And we just it's fucking ruined. This is sad. I'm not sure why. Because A24 hasn't offered any comment on this. But this was Brian Fuller, the showrunner. There's Adrian King, and this is the writer's room, which I've said before. This writer's room aesthetically looks like a Batwoman writer's room, and that scared the fucking hell out of me. It scared me. But you know, writers, I don't want to hear writer strike for this. There's really nothing else to this. But so no new news has been announced whether a movie could end up getting made, though Blumhouse is interested in getting the rights. And this is where I'm at right now with Friday the 13th. And we'll put this one up here. I like this image. I'm willing to cede this to Blumhouse if we can get something. And after the 2009 Trina, you know how much I hate to say that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get dog shit again. I emotionally, I can't take that because it's been 15 years since we've had any new Friday. I don't want to say it's been 15 years because we've had some fantastic fan films. Womp Stomp Productions, Never Hike Alone, Never Hike Alone 2, Never Hike in the Snow. That is a awesome fucking trilogy of movies. We'll see you next week, J-Man. Have a good night, brother.
See you next week. Good night.
Have faith in it's not that I don't have faith in Brian Fuller. I'm just worried about the show getting scrapped now because they had guaranteed 2 seasons with an outlook for 4. That scared me. The Hannibal series was fucking awesome. I watched that when it first aired, and I haven't seen it since, and I need to go back and rewatch it because it was really good. This, though, wait, those writers thought Crystal Lake was the name of the female character who runs a fun summer camp. I love you, Frankie. So Brian Fuller, I think we've talked about this, Trina. He was involved in some allegations stemming from the Queer for Fear series on AMC. Do you remember us talking about that?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay,
I don't think I've heard of that.
I did at least 1 or 2 videos on this because that is, and it was another male, obviously, because I do believe Fuller's gay, and this other guy was too. He said Fuller like grabbed him and like touched him and like on set, like in front of people, like, and there would like Fuller would talk about how much he like pleasured himself into what kind of things and left tissues out in there because they shared an office and said, "Oh, I just wanted to let you know that I did." You know, it's like, Jesus,
what the heck?
Yeah. So I don't know if any of this is true. Okay, these are allegations that were in this supposed lawsuit filed by this other. I can look his name up while we're talking, but there was never any. It really got dropped. Like there was no news about it after the initial report of the allegations against Fuller. So I'm in my head knowing that and hearing this got canceled. And this is strictly speculatory on my part. This is not anything that I've read anywhere. I'm not canceling Fuller, bro. I'm not. And I'm not advocating for that. What I'm saying is, did something get substantiated where they heard about this and they're like, yeah, no, A24 is like, we can't be involved with this guy, you know, in this show because he's a showrunner, and they were out. No. And that's only based on hearing this and, you know, kind of knowing Hollywood, and I'm not saying Brian Fuller did anything wrong. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what do you think? I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not looking for validation of it, but I mean,
that seems if that, yeah, that seems highly likely. Actually, it really does. Even oh man, even just I mean, we've talked about this on other shows. Just the allegation being out there is basically a guilty verdict.
Yep.
Once it gets thrown out, I mean, even if it gets proven to be not true, the damage is done. It takes so long to undo that, if you can even undo it.
Yep.
So it wouldn't surprise me if that were the reason.
And here it is right here. This is from Variety on November 2nd, and I believe this is the article I used when I did my video. Inside the Queer for Fear hostile workplace lawsuit, why multiple people are defending Brian Fuller. So a lot of people. What is with those glasses? Is he George Burns? Like, Gracie, where's my martini and my cigar? Oh God, you devil! There's a reference. That's a movie I haven't seen in eons. So this was from October 4th. Weinman filed a sensational lawsuit detailing a hostile work environment that were allegedly endured bullying, discrimination, sexual harassment, sexual assault, and retaliation because Fuller was fired from this series. So. See, 14 people involved with the series are pushing back on Weinman's Me Too claims and his characterization of a toxic workplace. The sources, 9 of whom went on record with Variety, had a wide range of responsibilities on the LA-based production and include an editor, a sound mixer, several interview subjects. They insist that Fuller, a Queer for Fear executive producer, ran a professional and collegial set. Tight-knit group has been rocked by Weinman's allegations, which they say came out of the blue and date back more than 2 years. Most of the sources also paint Weinman as an ineffective and challenging colleague who was ultimately fired.
Oh, okay.
So he says right here, most damning allegation involves a 2021 back cracking incident, which he dubs assault. Under the guise of cracking Weinman's back and due to his height, a completely restricted Weinman from movement as Mr. Fuller pressed his penis against Weinman's buttocks, holding it there so Weinman could feel it through the fabric of Mr. Fuller's track pants. What is he, an Asian man at a strip club?
God. Oh my God. This is very specific.
Right? The suit says an executive producer who was in the room at the time says nothing like that, what is described, occurred. Yeah, so they're like, yeah, I'll take things that never happened.
Oh, man.
So let's see where it goes on to say, let's see. Weinman's attorney, Atkins, says the article is further victimizing Samuel Weinman. Her client filed a verified complaint, which he means the allegations are under oath. Atkins added, like nobody's ever lied under oath before. You ever been to a Senate hearing? It's not necessary to file a verification when bringing a lawsuit. The fact Mr. Weinman did so speaks for itself. We are not surprised by the attempts by certain defendants to claim these allegations lack merit. Yeah, so they said, another Chelsea Shepard, who oversaw every aspect of production on the docuseries, worked with Fuller. She says she felt compelled to stand up for the embattled creative because Weinman's allegations rang hollow and felt retaliatory because he was fired. Yeah. So this is, and now the only other thing I can say is to not completely, discredit the allegations because people are standing up for Brian Fuller is a lot of people stood up for Brian Peck too, when he was accused of assaulting Drake Bell. Remember that?
Yeah.
A lot of celebrities stood up for him, but they said they were unaware of what he was actually charged with, which kind of seems hard to believe.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying that's the case here, but I mean, you have to play devil's advocate and look at both sides because we don't have all the information.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it goes back to like what I said, the allegation is out there, and maybe 824 is like, well, it's kind of poisons the well.
Yeah.
And that sucks because, well, if it's true, then he'll get his, and if it's not, well, he's done.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's either way, he's screwed.
Yep. Yeah. You had a series guaranteed 2 seasons that you were going to make a lot of money being the showrunner on, and either way, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
He's innocent, he's fucked unless somebody else picks it up. Like I said, the Blumhouse. Now there was talks of Sean Cunningham, because I guess he still holds the cinematic rights, doing a movie, and I had heard that tossed around last year, while they were working on, what was it, a new version of Night Driver or something like that, which Sean Cunningham was working on, and they started talking about a new Friday the 13th movie, and I was like, if we're gonna get a movie and a series, that would be freaking amazing. I'm kind of heartbroken this fell through. I really am. I
agree. This would have been cool.
Yep.
Well, maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone else picks it up. Maybe it just gets put on hold for a while. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
When things like this have happened as of late, though, we know, things don't usually end. These don't have a happy ending.
Yeah.
They don't have a happy ending. Now, that's not to say that the show doesn't show up in some iteration, or somebody, picks it up and says, we'll do it. I don't see this being a losing bet.
I agree. I think this would, I think this has a potential to make a studio a good amount of money.
Yeah, because the franchise has still a huge built-in fan base. And if you give them something good, like look at, like I said, Womp Stomp did well with theirs. So, I mean, this is another thing is, so Sean Cunningham if he doesn't want to be completely hands-on, why wouldn't you pay somebody like Womp Stomp to come in? Because they've proven they can do this franchise justice. They can do it well.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do something like that? You've got people who obviously love it and can put out a product that is, and I'm sorry, those were, if you gave them a Hollywood budget, like you gave them a $5 million budget, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they could put out something that would put asses in seats and would easily make its money back and then some. And then you can start with your sequels.
Yeah.
I don't, as a Friday the 13th fan, this is just like, I don't want to stomp my feet and say it's not fair, but it's kind of not fair.
Yeah, it sucks.
It is. Again, playing devil's advocate with the situation, it may be a blessing in disguise. What if the show came out and was nothing that we wanted, and it shit the bed, and it went completely modern identity politics, and totally, victimized, Mrs. Voorhees, and, just went against everything we know and just completely was garbage. I don't think it would have been, but what if?
I mean, it's a show being made in 2024, so it is a possibility.
Yeah.
It's a very good possibility, actually. But
right?
Yeah, still, I mean, would have been cool to find out.
Can't they hire the Saska sisters? I mean, they did a bang up job with the Yara trailer. Oof. 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 Dad, are you my dad? Are you my daddy? Chuck, I love you, Chuck. You're my new daddy. I'm not affiliated with, what is that, the ripoff verse, but I do think they're hilarious. Those puppets are funny as fuck.
Yeah.
I think Brian could have pulled it off. No, I do too. I really do. I think Brian Fuller could have done this show and done it well. But there's that possibility we're never going to know now, is what I'm saying. Unfortunately. So I guess we could just kind of sit back and hope that something happens with it and gives us something. Yeah, we got 10 votes. 90% to 10%. Did you enjoy Late Night with the Devil? 90% of those responding said yes. So thank you for participating in our poll this evening. Yeah, like I said, I did. It's a 7.5 out of 10. It's a good movie. Yeah, I'm Zombie Box. I'm right there with you, man. Fingers crossed that this something happens with this franchise. And then next up would be the Halloween franchise. Remember, they're talking movies and a series for that.
Yeah.
So are we going to see another domino fall and that get axed? I hope not. Well, no, because Miramax just bought the rights. So they just bought the rights. They're like, we're going to do something with this shit. Which that was another thing. You know, Victor Miller and his side just got the rights back to do this series. And they had the green light to do everything. I'm wondering, I don't know. I have no idea. I want some more. I hope we get an official statement from A24. I'm not optimistic that we ever will, but I would really like to know, you know, what happened, what was the linchpin that, you know, the straw that broke the camel's proverbial back here with this. So
I know.
I don't care for another Halloween reboot. Oh, trust me, I'm rebooted out with Halloween. But if I suffered through the David Gordon Green trilogy. I've seen the Rob Zombie one. So at this point, bro, how bad can it get? I mean, we've already bottomed out. So the only logical explanation is to rise like a phoenix from Arizona, to quote George Costanza, or Frank Costanza. Sorry, I'm stuck.
Yeah,
a phoenix from Arizona. Serenity now.
all Halloween is reboots.
Yeah, there's 75 different timelines.
For real, the multiverse.
It's the multiverse of Myers.
It is.
You got the big Rob Zombie retard Michael Myers.
Oh, dude.
White trash, you know, the white trash Michael Myers, Rob Zombie one. Then you've got the I'm just an old man who got beat up in a sewer pipe by a 21-year-old who got beat up by some 17-year-old fucking band geeks.
Yep. Yep. You got they cucked him.
Oh, Michael Myers got cucked. You've got
it's traumatic. It really is.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like I remember watching Halloween Ends, and that's I was so like I thought Halloween Kills was bad. Then I got to Halloween Ends, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Still not as bad as the Rob Zombie ones, though. Nowhere near as bad as the Rob Zombie Halloweens. Never. Nowhere.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I can be that generous.
You think they're better than the Rob Zombie ones? Or worse than the Rob Zombie ones?
Yeah.
Really?
I really do. Yeah. Well, Ends for sure is.
Oh, Ends is right there with 2 and the White Horse shit. Like,
oh,
that was 1, 2, and 3 of the part 4 is my favorite. Outside of the original part, I love part 4. I will say that, and I'll get crucified for this by some people, but Rachel Carruthers is equal, if not greater than, Laurie Strode. If you go Rachel in part 4 versus Laurie in part 1, Fight me.
I don't have a problem with that.
Rachel is more capable than Lori. And she had no previous experience against Michael, so it was all new to her. Yeah. Now what they did with her character in part 5 is The Revenge of Michael Myers is a fucking. But I'd still rather watch that than any of the David Gordon Green or Rob Zombie ones.
Yep.
I'll take any of the main, what I consider the mainline Halloween movies, parts 1 through 6, and then H2O and Resurrection. Resurrection is the Busta Rhymes one. Yeah, all of those are more, far more acceptable than any of the other 5.
Yeah, I agree.
Cockaween. I'll throw for it. I'm good with that. The cocked variant. 4 was decent. 4, the only thing, the mask was bad. That's where they had like the pink mask.
Yeah.
The hair. George Wilbur, who was back, had the shoulder pads, which looked a little wonky, but it was a great fucking movie, and it's the best version of Haddonfield, especially, and it has the best opening sequence. All those shots. I'll next year. I'll be able to use that again. I have the Halloween intro. I took this past October. I took a different intro sequence for every Halloween movie and did our going in raw episodes in that with the opening credits. So cool. Yeah, those were fun to do. But yeah, the Halloween, any more Halloween, it's like they talked about doing, like the series, and it's like, well, I've heard people, oh, what if they did a show about like Haddonfield, or what was the other town? There was another town they mentioned.
Yeah.
We talked about it with Brandon.
Yes, I can't remember now. Man.
What if they did something over there, and I mean, you could, if you could do that. It would have to be a very, very compelling story about, or the characters, what are you going to do? Like, it's like, you can't, it really doesn't work without Michael, unless you tie in the Silver Shamrock angle and do that gimmick, which, okay, so how about a series set in when was that? That one came out in 83. Halloween Season of the Witch came out in 83, I think it was. So what if you set that movie in 83, or that series in 1983 in that universe? And you tie it in by saying the mask that Michael wore was one of the Silver Shamrock masks.
Yep.
That right there. Yeah. That's money.
Yeah. That should be done.
And even if you wanted to set it in the late 80s, you could still have Tom Atkins come back, de-age him. He's still around. That man is a treasure.
You could use AI to do Loomis.
Yep. 6 times I shot him, Sheriff. 6 times.
But yeah, no, you definitely have to have Michael. I can't do it without Michael.
No, I don't want to do it without Michael. You gotta have him involved in the show.
Yeah.
Or movie, whatever you're gonna do. A series probably will come first, obviously.
I think a series like naming it Haddonfield would be actually awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that would sell right there. Oh shit. Okay, that's the town. That's the Michael Myers. Okay.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
I'd like it if they took the 3 approach of different stories that take place on Halloween.
Yep. Yeah, the original
anthology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be good with that. Well, I guess you're a bad shot, Loomis. You senile old fuck. I'm a good shot, Sheriff. Look at my face. Look what he did to me. Look at my hand, Sheriff.
Oh man, yeah, that show has to be made.
Yeah, if they could AI Loomis and it was like good, I would be. Is it bad I'm saying that? I'm all right with them AIing a complete fucking like gimmick.
If it was like a quick cameo or just, like, you gotta have them, you gotta show them.
Yep.
Somehow, some way, you just gotta show them. They'd obviously have to do AI, or I mean, they could use a flashback, but I don't think that would look right because it would be a new movie. So
yeah,
I mean, a new show, so everything would look polished, and then if you did a flashback, it wouldn't look well. No, because if it's set back then it has to match. So yeah, they'd have to use AI.
Yeah. Yep. Well, they could shoot it like they did the scene in like Halloween. Was it Halloween Kills, with where they were back in '78 or the beginning of the other one, whichever one it was. They could have made that entire movie like that. If they should have done that entire trilogy, if they wanted to redo it, like go big and set it all within like a year of each other, and set it in like 78 or 2 years between 78 and 80. Then do that. You know what I mean? Yep. That would have been a hell of a lot better than what they did. Be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
They should have recast Lori, recast her. I have no problem with that.
She was way too old for that role.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, she's supposed to, like, oh man, I don't want to pick apart the movie that got me into horror, but she's supposed to be a high school kid, and she looks like she could be my mom in that movie, like
in Halloween.
Yeah, like, dude, she looks like she's in her 30s in that movie.
How old was she when she was in Halloween?
I don't know.
Hang on, I'll look it up. Yeah, because I don't know how old she was when she's in that. Let's see. She was 19.
No way. She looked way older.
She was fucking 19 years old when she was in that. She looked like she was 30.
Yeah, she really did.
That's right, because the other actresses were like way older than her, I think.
Really?
Like PJ Souls, weren't they like a couple years? They were older than her. I want to
say. She looked like she was ready for Medicare.
And then the second one, and I like part 2, but she had that god awful wig in part 2.
Oh, that was so bad. Well, 1 and 2 is basically one movie.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it goes basically, it's like 1 and 2 are one movie, and then you go right to part 4.
Yep.
And then 5, and then Insanity.
Yes.
That's pretty much how it goes. But yeah, I think that's a good place to put a bookend on it for the night, Trina. We can get out of here relatively early, because I am streaming. I'll be out of town this weekend, but I'm on Tolbat's channel tomorrow night. Thursday night, I am the 4th bullshitter, because Coach Kendo will be getting commencement, having his down at commencement. So I will be filling in for him, which is cool as hell. I haven't been over there. It's been about a month or so since I've been over there. So yeah. And then Friday night I'll be on Tommy's, and we're talking about the Mad Max movies, which is going to be a fucking blast. So thank you, Trina, again for another lovely Tuesday evening talking horror.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed our late night with the devil review as much as we did. This movie was absolutely fun to watch, and I recommend it if you haven't seen it yet. So that being said, Zombie Box and Brutal and Grave Reviews, Papa Cotton. Let's see who else was here. Frankie Knows, J-Man, Tolbat. Thank you guys. I think I saw was Godzillionaire here. Keely Chow. Yeah, thank you everybody. Adam, Superfan Adam, Shawhan, Slasher, Chef Nation. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. We love you guys. We appreciate you, and we will be back next Tuesday with J-Man and Tyler Wooten, and we will be reviewing The Burning from 1981, and not the kind that you have to go to the clinic for. So you're fine. Don't worry about that. But until next time, guys, I will see you tomorrow night over on Tollbats 8:30. I'm Etep from the Place to Be Reviews. We've been here with all yous. If we don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow. We'll catch you on the next one. And remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away.
Good night.